My dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you all to this wonderful conference, YogaCon June 2021, being organized by AAYM, a wonderful organization set up by Dr. International Basure in the United States. I don't have to elaborate his competence as the cardiac electrophysiologist from the Harvard and his great contribution to the field of dealing with these non-communicable diseases, asthma, diabetes, hypertension, heart problem, epilepsy, migraine, irritable bowel syndrome, using the techniques of yoga, including those of meditation. His emphasis on meditation is very, very apt because the NCDs have their origin in the deeper layers of the mind. According to Patanjali, mind is called as Chitta. According to Patanjali, there is a Purusha and a Prakriti. Purusha is the pure consciousness and Prakriti is the world, the creation. It's called Jagat. So this entire creation has been created, manifested or made to appear by that infinite pure consciousness. What is that? Patanjali called it Purusha. Vedanta calls it as the Moksha. Patanjali also called it as Kaivalya. In scientific terms you can say it is the reality, absolute reality. It is beyond space, time and causation. It is beyond not only the body, the prana, the mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. It is beyond all these dimensions. We have brilliant sun, but very dark clouds. Sunshine is not coming down. Similarly, we have layers of dust, layers of mala, and it's called kashaya. These are the ones that are preventing this. And it said there are 5 layers of this entire creation. The physical layer, which we all have understood in modern science, is the electromagnetic field. Then more pervasive and surrounding that, subtler than that, is the bioplasmic field, the pranic field. Then much bigger than that, more pervasive than that, is the astral field, the mind field. Then we have the information of the intellectual field, and beyond all that is the bliss field, one of the field of silence. Therefore all these 5 layers which constitute the entire creation is also manifest in each one of us. The physical body we have is surrounded by the pranamaya kosha, that is the pranic body or the bioplasmic body. Then we have the manomaya kosha, that is the astral body or the mind body. Then we have the vijnanamaya kosha, and then we have the anandamaya kosha. And anandamaya kosha is called the causal body, from where all other bodies come. The first manifest from the pure reality is Anandamaya Kosha. From there comes down Vijnanamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Annamaya Kosha. This is the whole process of the Prasava, as we call creation. So in Anandamaya Kosha, we are all in a state of bliss. It is beyond any movements. It is in the phase of unmanifest condition, called avyakta. From there we come to the Vijnanamaya Kosha, when the manifestation starts in the form of dualities and multiplicities. So our mind starts working, the thoughts start emerging, and we recognize differences between one another. I am different from you because I have my own thoughts, you have your own thoughts. But in Vijnanamaya Kosha, the knowledge is complete. There is total knowledge. And people who can tune to that Vijnanamaya Kosha, they know everything of the past, present and the future. And they have all the powers, siddhis as they are called. These are the greatest of the masters who brought the whole knowledge base through the Upanishads to our forefront in our country. Apart from the epic characters like Krishna, Rama and others, every state in our country excelled with such great masters. We had Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya from Kerala. We had Swaminarayan from Gujarat. We had Sant Gnaneshwar from Maharashtra. And large number of Siddhas from Tamil Nadu. And a host of Hatha Yoga masters of renown from Madhya Pradesh. Raghavendra Mahaswamigal and many others from Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. If you go to the west, we have Lahari Mahashaya, Yukteswara Giri and the great master from West Bengal and the northeast dimension. When you look at this side, Punjab, northwest, we have Guru Nanak. And such are the greatest masters who spread throughout the country and showed that this reality can be lived in that. So that is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. From Vijnanamaya Kosha, descend down to the Manomaya Kosha. You are constricting yourself and reducing in the freedom, reducing in all those aspects of knowledge, power, freedom and bliss. And apart from the thoughts, now they power themselves up as the emotions. So this mechanism has been beautifully brought out in Bhagavad Gita in the famous shloka. Dhyayato vishayan pansaha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammohaha sammohat spriti vibhramaha pratibhramshat buddhinashaha buddhinashat pranashyati. The whole sequence as to how this Vijnanamaya Kosha start getting condensed and the thoughts start becoming faster and faster and start turning themselves as emotions. And the emotions become stronger and stronger and they turn themselves into very strong emotions like kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya on one front and good qualities also on the other side. And these powerful emotions, they drain us down, they enslave on us, and the freedom that we have is curtailed. And we know what is right, but we don't do right things. And once you go against what is right, there is a big imbalance that is created. That imbalance is called as the Adhi. That's the cause for all our modern NCDs later on. That the root cause is in the Manomaya Kosha, in the astral field. And then the Adhi starts coming down. And in the Pranamaya Kosha, in the bioplasmic body, everything is in a beautiful balance. The prana in various forms are all in beautifully distributed equally and it is like a clear lake. And the Adhi is something like a big imbalance which start coming down and the whole lake is disturbed. The pranic flows, the flows of the subtle energy called the prana, they all get disturbed. They start going hither thither. They lose the directions. And the result of that is in the body there is going to be an imbalance that is created. The higher centers of the brain, they get imbalance and the imbalance between the left and the right brain, imbalance in the autonomic nervous system, imbalance in the endocrine system are triggered by the hypothalamus and the pituitary glands and that percolates down the whole body and the stress reaction is set up. When it's continued for a long time, you start hitting different organs and systems in the body and you get into the phase of dis-ease. That is the whole way by which the non-communicable diseases are now created. Starting from Adi, they become the Vyadhi. So what all we do in the modern medical system essentially is to give a symptomatic relief. The pain is too much, you give a painkiller. The sugar levels have gone up, you give an insulin, it's going to come down. And very good, it's very necessary. But the root cause is not removed. All that we do in pharmacological interventions and surgical interventions essentially hinge around this aspect, that there is a bringing of the symptoms, symptomatic relief and others. But the root cause is here in the Manomaya Kosha. Therefore yoga tells us that you have to deal with Adhi, remove that. So at the body level we use various techniques of yoga called yogasanas, the Shitraikarana Vyayama, we have the dimensions of giving deep relaxation to the body, Shavasanas and others. But in the Pranamaya Kosha we have to bring the breath to normalcy and then slow down the breath, bring the balance between the two nostrils. These are all called the pranayama techniques. Then we go into the Manomaya Kosha, in which you have to bring down the Adhi. For that we have the techniques of emotions. How to convert these strong inimical emotions to the gentler and softer emotions in the form of the Daivi Sampat. That has to be done. Converting the prema to the dimensions of further into the bhakti dimension. By so doing, we will be able to reduce the violent emotions of anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, infatuation into the gentler emotions and softer emotions of sharing, giving, love, magnanimity and control over the senses and higher dimension. Thereby the Adi starts coming down. So therefore we have complete integrated yoga module called the integrated approach of yoga therapy, in which we use all these dimensions of the four streams of yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, to deal with the Annamaya Kosha, to deal with the symptoms of the Vyadhi, and we have the Pranamaya Kosha to bring the balance, and then we have the Manomaya Kosha to remove the Adhi by converting the violent gross emotions into subtler and softer and gentler emotions on one side, and to calm down the mind, silence the mind, tranquil the mind. That's most important. Unfortunately, entire education system, we don't have this component to deal with the emotions on one side, and we are all increasing the speed of the mind, faster mind, quicker mind, brilliant mind, sharper mind, innovative mind, creative mind, and the second wing of mastery over the mind, of calming down the mind, silencing the mind, tranquilling the mind, is all absent. Therefore, there is a big imbalance that is being created which has to be brought forth. So Patanjali's system tells that you have to gain mastery over the mind, yogaha, chitta vritti nirodhaha. When we do that, then you have a complete systematic thing that takes place, and the whole system changes itself from big imbalances into a good balance. And then there is the flow of the entire power is going to start coming through this koshas, and we start becoming healthier day by day and prevent diseases, promote positive health, and see that all our system come into normalcy and to get strengthened. So we not only want that we have to overcome our diseases, NCDs on one side, but we want to have the promotion of positive health. This is what yoga offers. To lead a very happy life, healthy life is also the goal, and not merely to be free from disease. This is what WHO health definition tells us. Health is not merely absence of a disease or an infirmary, but a state of well-being at the physical, mental, social and in brackets spiritual levels. This is what we have to achieve. So we have to develop such an healthcare delivery system which is very effective, having least side effects, and have possibilities of long-term rehabilitation, which is evidence-based. We are in the age of modern science and technology. We need evidence, and we want cost effectiveness. Therefore, this conference which AAYM is organizing as YogaCon is very apt in these days where we are hit by the COVID everywhere, which has completely downgraded and weakened our immune system and often distorted the immune system, and thereby we get infected. So there is a great opportunity for all of us staying home in quarantines or in the lockdown areas and working from home, we have great opportunity to change our habits of all the time running, often not knowing why we are running, to a system where again can mastery over the mind, calming down of the mind, silencing of the mind, and learning to work in blissful awareness. And therefore, I welcome all of you to this YogaCon, the wonderful program, the conference, uniquely organized by our IBR, International YogaCon, and rightly he has chosen the online mode to be done for the 4 weekends, and he says that this should be a wonderful thing. So I congratulate Dr. International YogaCon for organizing this conference and giving us an opportunity to share our thoughts and see how we can give a strong base for the integrative medicine to build the right ideal healthcare delivery system of effectiveness, least side effects, long-term rehabilitation, cost effectiveness, and evidence base, which is the thing that we have to bring for the world at large. And I invite all of you to join this wonderful movement that is taking place towards integration of various systems of allopathy and Ayush systems. And thank you all very much, and I wish you all the best. Namaskar.